Hello everyone, Hrvoje here, bringing you a quick look at the best pick of the format. OP1 Doflamingo is an aggro leader with no truly bad matchups, but what really sets him apart is the consistency of his engine. Any good player will tell you how over 10 or more rounds, consistency is everything. So let's get into the card choices. Core non-negotiable cards are Jinbei, Law, Boa, and Weevil. Jinbei is simply a free body, while Boa and Weevil have above rate stats for their effects. The one card I think is truly unfair is Law, as forecast being able to answer other forecasts is stupidly powerful in One Piece. It's not like he has restrictions, so his effect is also very flexible and can be used to push card advantage by bouncing our own stuff. Teach is a card I really like in this meta because of his importance in the mirror. Purple decks jump through hoops to get the extra don to work with, while we just play down Teach and he's still good into all the other decks who want to get aggressive. The next part is pretty straightforward. We have all these good cards and we just want to see them as much as possible, so we run the maximum number of consistency 1 costs. Force Perona and Force Sengoku. Then we have 4-cost Gecko, who's kind of similar, but can only grab stuff that already died or countered. Overall, he also increases the number of good cards we work with in a game by just retrieving them from graveyard, which is similar to other cards like Rebecca in Black or Gecko Moria. Just reusing stuff from trash. For 2Ks, I run 4 Buggy, 4 Mihawk, and 4 Crocodile. Buggy is a minor consistency piece, and Mihawk is a good body that filters hand if he sticks around. Which he most likely won't, because our other bodies have no effects when on board, so he has a big red target on his forehead. For another filtering option, I would consider dropping 1 Buggy or 1 Mihawk for a Kaya. Next, I like 4 Crocodile for his utility in the mirror match, where delaying opponent's Teach while setting up our own is crucial. Some decks are also resorting to chump blockers because of Shanks and similar top-end decks, and Crocodile deals with those in a pinch. All that remains are tech spots where I run 2 Pudding. It sucks to not have her when the opponent is playing around her, but it's just as bad to have 1 or 2 copies in hand when the opponent respects her. Jozo I think comes in at 2 or 3 copies. I prefer 3 for once again mirror, but you could cut 1 for the 3rd Gecko and just have slightly better game into other decks where you want to be aggressive. He's a bit of a slow card in this meta, but with Teach and 12 1-cost units, the deck is really good at abusing him. 1 Femur is more important for the respected forces from the opponent, but it's also win-con in all games against Lucci or Shanks. Gravity Blade flips between a blowout and largely useless depending on the matchup and board state, but I think it's one of the biggest rewards for establishing Teach in the mirror match, so 2 copies are justified, and I think there's an argument to be made for even 3 copies. Honestly, there's not much to innovate with Luffy decklist, as the deck is largely solved, so let's move on to the matchups. First matchup to touch upon is, you guessed it, the mirror. I generally don't think there's much of an advantage to either first or second, and I'm very comfortable with both choices. But I will pick first when I win roll. The advantage of going first is stronger high roll and more aggression, while the player going second is working with more resources. A mulligan for 1 costs, Teach, Law, and Jozu. A Jinbei is a nice bonus, but not a must. The most important part is establishing Teach and having it stick over multiple turns while the opponent's Teach doesn't, then using Teach in tandem with Law, Jozu, and Gravity Blade to dominate board. Don't hook Weevils and Boas, as they often get bounced by opponent's Law and end up stuck in hand as non-counters. You usually only need to see 1 or 2 of them throughout the game. Focus on winning board control, and if you can't, go aggressive to close the game as soon as possible with 7k or higher swings into life. First 1 or 2 life can be taken liberally as long as you respect Pudding, but as a rule of thumb, try to stay even or 1 life above your opponent. Next up is Blackbeard, which I think won't be as popular as expected. The deck is very difficult to play, and for its effort, it's rewarded with a terrible Doffy matchup. We should expect our own plays to be denied from 3 down onwards, and to punish it, we want to destroy Blackbeard's hand. Mulligan for 1 costs, and Teach to answer Doq. Afterwards, use leader ability whenever a free body is available for grabs. All the remaining Don should be used to develop bodies to the board. 4 plus 1 cost, whatever you have, doesnh matter. Then just swing a bunch of 5ks at Teach and develop new bodies. If there's rested stuff on Teach's board, get rid of it first and then go face. All the while, keep developing whichever bodies you can. Any hits to face, just take. Blackbeard should run out of cards before he can start chaining 10 costs, and even if he reaches that stage, he should be low enough where leader swing for 14k with ability should force him to block with him. Purple Luffy is another popular aggro deck, but it takes more time to wind up than Doffy does. He ramps, but while doing so is only swinging 5k or 6k, which makes it very easy for us to defend board. I choose first when given the choice, Mulligan for Teach, the Jinbei Swarm package, and look to bounce his first 4-cost body with Law. Develop board, keep swinging at his leader, and only bother with the rested 6k characters if Luffy is already on 4 or less cards in hand. The matchup is pretty straightforward, and first 2, sometimes 3 lives can be taken freely, as Luffy might fill them up again with 9-cost Lin. His hands will be full, dealing with our board very quickly, so just make sure to not be exposed to surprise lethals from 3-cost Usopp or 7-cost Sanji resting your only blowout blocker. Shanks takes Bonnie's title for the most defensive deck of the format. We're looking to abuse his strategy reliant on big, dumb guys before he can put them on the field. How easy this is will vary on Shanks' build and how much removal he runs and sees, but we will prefer to go first. This allows us to start attacking immediately and deny him probably his best curve against us, which is Yasop on 5 into Newgate on 7, combining both effects to take out the 6k and get some swings in. We can still answer that going second with Joe's on 6, but the faster we reduce Shanks to 1 or 0 life, the higher chances of winning. A mulligan for Perona or Teach alongside Jinbei, and take first 2 lives freely, look to develop a whiteboard of preferably 6k units, and you just want to keep swinging 6ks, maybe 7ks if you have extra Dawn in the early and mid game to just strip his hand as soon as possible. And similar to Bonnie, just his ability is strong against decks with only 1 or 2 swings per turn, but is weak against decks that go wide, which Dofi definitely is. Lucci is the only popular deck with consistent removal right from the moment the game starts, and is one of Doflamingo's more challenging matchups. We prefer to go first to deny him his clean odd curve, consisting of Brook on 3, Kako or Hus on 5, Jack on 7, and then Moria paired with cost reduction on 9. Similar to Shanks, we're looking to get hits in as soon as possible. We want to see early Jinbeis and later Boas because the board will keep dying, like to effects, so we can protect them. Rebuilding it turn after turn is crucial to just keeping the wave of aggression going. Aside from those two and 1-cost units, Gecko and Teach are also good to see in the mulligan, but Teach has to be utilized carefully because of, you don't want to run out of hand. And yeah, the idea is to push, once again, Lucci to 1 or 0 life really quickly, and then we are saving a Perfume or a 4-cost low in hand to finish the job through a Rebecca blocker. All the early swings to life should be taken. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and drop a comment. Of course, if you want to see more, click that subscribe button. It means a lot. A more in-depth guide that goes into the nitty-gritty details is available on our Patreon, which is linked in the description. Peace.